Imagine for a moment a mountain range next to a desert, and high up in the mountain range is a glacier. Eventually, the glacier begins to melt, and the water around it builds up until it falls over the edge of the mountains in a great waterfall, and it cuts a river through the valley below until finally it settles. It finds the lowest point of the desert and it wells up and it becomes a great big lake. And around the lake grow trees and grasses and plants, and animals come and live in it. And what was once barren and deserted suddenly becomes a verdant, lush rainforest. Now think about the water that flowed from that glacier. The same water that is frozen in the glacier melts, falls over the waterfall and flows in the river before settling in the lake. It is the same water from the glacier, through the river, and resting in the lake. And yet it is different. Each part is different in some way from the other. The water high in the mountain is not the river. The river is not the glacier, and the lake is not the river. The substance of water is the same, but the identity of the water is different. This is the Holy Trinity. God the Father is the glacier, high in the mountains. The water flowing down from the glacier into the river is the Son, and the water as it rests in the desert is the Holy Spirit. The one substance, God, describes all three persons of the Holy Trinity, and yet they are different from one another. This isn't a perfect analogy, but it does help us to understand how the three persons of the Trinity can be different from one another and yet remain united as one God.